My ex-wife sued me for child support, even though we share custody of our child, but I went along with it and watched her and her lawyer embarrass themselves in front of the judge. Backstory: I have a 5-year-old daughter with my ex-wife. We broke up about 2.5 years ago. We had some ups and downs during our marriage. We never argued or fought per se, but we did negotiate a lot with strong emotions and opinions. Yet, we always managed to find some common ground. That's why it kind of caught me by surprise when she told me she wanted a divorce. I cried for a couple of days, went fishing, and then started planning how to figure things out, because neither of us had enough income at that point to keep our car and our house. We agreed that I should take care of selling the car, and she would get a realtor to start selling our home. Well, it turns out I had to do both. Anyway, we had more debt than money, and she tried to leave all the debt to me while she would start from a clean slate. I wouldn't let her, and I made sure everything we owned and every bit of debt was split evenly. We agreed that our daughter would live with both of us, splitting the time evenly as our daughter had the right to have 2 parents. We promised each other to act civilly. This didn't last long. We also agreed that since our salaries were pretty even, neither of us would pay child support. We also agreed that she would take care of buying most of the clothes, etc., for our kids since she would get the child benefit, about €100 per month here in Finland, paid by the government to support raising offspring. After the breakup, she started mail ordering new furniture for herself, even before she had found a new apartment. Kind of obvious, but she really didn't have the money for it either. 2 weeks later, she moved out. A week later, I heard from our kid that she had a new man. I didn't really care, just raised some eyebrows. She would often call in sick to her work, usually for nonsense reasons. And when her boss gave some feedback, she didn't fix her attitude. Instead, she just quit. She applied to a school and got in. After about 2 months, she quit the school too and started demanding I pay child support. We got a professional to weigh in and agreed that I still wouldn't pay a dime to her because she had caused her income to collapse. As a goodwill act, I offered to pay for our daughter's insurance. I thought the matter was settled, but then she got pregnant by her new man a few months after our breakup. After our divorce was final, there is a 6-month reconsideration period before the judge finalizes it. She married her new man. These things empowered her to demand money again and again. So now that you know what kind of person we are dealing with, last fall, she again demanded money to support our kid. She was working again, and I knew she used our kid as an excuse because she had expressed envy towards my ability to control my finances to the point that even when I had the same amount of money, I could eat in restaurants, etc. I told her that if she needed child support for legitimate reasons, I would of course help. But all the expenses would have to be calculated properly to know the right amount she would need. Instead, she demanded I pay her €200 per month, and she would take care of all the expenses regarding our daughter. She didn't have any real reasons for the demand other than her need for control. She had always been someone who wanted to have the last say in things. On top of her demand, this time she threatened to sue me if I didn't pay her. I pretty much laughed at it until I got a message from her lawyer. At that point, I messaged my ex, telling her from now on, I would only discuss this matter via our lawyers, and started looking for a lawyer myself. During the next couple of months, things started to look really bad for her case. After getting the papers from the court, I noticed her case was based on false data. She and her lawyer had not asked for my income and expenses before they sued me, and she had estimated my income to be a lot more than it actually was. Also, my expenses were estimated to be smaller than actual. At this point, I messaged my ex and asked if she was sure she didn't want to settle. She didn't. So I decided to go with some malicious compliance and didn't try again. After we both calculated every income and expense of both parties with the help of our lawyers, my lawyer and I confirmed that she had enough money to raise our kid. Not only that, it turned out she actually had more money than me for it. Monthly income minus living costs, medicine, etc. I burst out laughing at the absurdity of her case. Even more so when she tried to twist things to her favor by sending false evidence to us and the judge, which we noticed instantly. A couple of days go by and my lawyer calls me. She had gotten a call from my ex's lawyer saying he had noticed my ex's lying, and the whole case was based on lies, and the lawyer wanted to settle. It looked like my malicious compliance would not go through until my lawyer got a message that, for some reason, they would not settle after all. Game on. The judgment. We went to court. Now you can see the second part by pressing share and more.